Hello, welcome to episode 20 of the Chaos Daily Show. Starting the day off with an epic time lapse. Yeah. Wow. So much work. And you didn't even see all of it. These tilt rotor mounts, I did them like 3 times and recorded each time, and I'll put you through the last set. I won't put you through the first set. Obviously, you just saw the last time I tried it. But yeah, that was the 3rd attempt to make these. But that's just the iterative process. That is how you do something like this when you don't have a really defined plan, is you try something and it's obviously not always going to work first time. Not everything does. And then you find out what went wrong and how to make it better, and you learn from it. And then you make a plan to make it better the next time. So when you do it again, it might not work again, but at least it's better than it was before. And then if it's still not quite right, you'll then be able to see what you couldn't see before because you were still so far off the mark. And that's just how, that's one of the ways that I work. I don't mind having to do things over and over. It's just the way I was taught to do 3D modeling, was to expect that you would have to do things again. Like, don't let that get you down, don't let that put you off doing the work. Repeating things and doing things over is not a bad thing. It's an iterative process, and that's just how 3D modeling works, and that's just the way I was taught, so that's the way I do it. And it's not a big deal, and each time you do it, it's always better, and I like that. I like that way, like the way that things, you know, progress. So we got those in, those worked nicely, and this one we went back and made some changes here. I scrapped the whole idea of the way I was going to do it, and I'm trying something else. I still think I might change this as well. I'm not sure yet. As you saw there in the time lapse, I did a thing and then realized no. When it adjusts the tilt for yaw control, it will smash the propeller into that. I would have to change the shape and design of it. And then the other problem is where the hell are all the wires going to go? Yeah, how do we power the motor? Like, you know, the wires are supposed to come in through here. I'm actually thinking of redoing this entire tail, like scrapping this mechanism that I've got, doing it all from scratch again. I've got a couple ideas. They're a little bit more complicated. I was trying to keep it simple, but I'm thinking that this other idea, I've had it in the back of my head for a while. Even when I did this, it was one of the other ideas in the back of my head, and I was like, no, it's a little too complicated. Let's try and keep it simple. To avoid, you know, overcomplicating it. But I think it is actually the best solution, even though it's a little harder to pull off. It's going to require a lot more geometric thinking because there's a lot of, you know, lever points and stuff. Think Transformers. It's the best way I'm going to be able to describe it to you. Think Transformers. It's all moving parts and stuff, and it's very complicated, but I think it is the best solution, and it's just the way we're going to have to do it. But other than that, oh my God, is this thing looking good? Let's just chuck this. Oh yeah, the other thing that I'm thinking of doing with this redesign is that when the tail is in this position, the prop is in the forward flight position, like this. So when the tail's in this position, the prop will be this way, not that way. Okay, I don't know. I don't always know if what I'm trying to explain is coming across. It's one of my problems, and I end up over-explaining stuff, and I sound like an idiot. But holy crap! Oh, I'm loving this thing. It's gorgeous. The color scheme, the shapes, I really like it. I cannot wait to get this thing to a point where I can start making some really sexy rendered videos of it and send it into Render Wars. Neil is going to be blown away because he knows when I started this project. Like, he challenged me to it, so he'd be like, dude, like, you did all of that, and like, what? This is day 4 or 5 of the tilt rotor project, and we took a day off to play video games in the middle. So, you know, I work fast. I work fast. I'm not the fastest, but I work fast, and yeah. So, I don't know. I'll have to go back and just check the footage quickly, but I think we'll have enough time to do another time-lapse and finish the episode off with me demolishing this. and restarting it. Yeah, I think that'll work. See, the issue I have with, I want to put this motor in the tail so that when the tail is straight like this, the propeller is, you know, vertical. But the issue is, at the moment, your tilt mechanism for the yaw control is first, and then you have the tilt for the flight transition. Second, if you do it the other way around with the motor, you know, along the axis, then you have to do your tilt for the transition first, and then your yaw control, which means your yaw control is at a more distant pivot point. So whenever it's yawing, it's having to, instead of just yawing a small area like this, where it's, when it rotates around a short axis. Whereas if it had it the other way, it'd be rotating around a really wide axis. So the end of the motor would be arcing over a longer distance, and I don't really want to do that because it's going to reduce the responsiveness of that mechanism, and the yaw control is the more important mechanism than the flight transition mechanism, because you only do the flight transition mechanism a handful of times. It's not being used all the time for flight control. So it's very important we keep the yaw control on a short axis. So this is going to be interesting. So I'm going to get into a time lapse for that. That is so much better. Still lots to tweak and adjust, you know, just making some slight adjustments here and there, but that's basically where we're going with this. So I don't know if it made sense in what I was doing in the time lapse, but we're having 2 servo motors going in here. The yaw control servo motor is going to be this Turnigy slim wing servo because it's super small and I need the space either side of it. That's going to slot on the inside of this piece, and it's the gearing is going to mesh into this knuckle, and then this knuckle is going to attach to a pivot arm that comes out from this piece, and then this servo here, this low profile one, is going to sit sideways in here, and it's going to have an arm that comes down with a linkage to another pivot point on here, so that when the servo arm moves, it pivots this like this. And I've got this one constrained so it doesn't move at the moment, but you saw before how it was moving side to side. So this servo would attach to an arm that extends from this into this one and meshes with the gear teeth on the servo. That's roughly what it's going to do. I just need to now do that. But for now, I think that'll do it for today. That we did a lot. We got the front tilt rotor housings done for the motors. We redid the rear. It was just so much. I mean, I started working on these last night and didn't finish till like 1 a.m. in the morning, and then went to sleep and then woke up at 6:40 to take my mum to her work. Yeah, I'm putting some hours in. Let's just say that. I am putting the work in. But it's fun. Oh, it's so gorgeous. Look at it. Just look at it. Oh my god. It's driving me crazy. I want to build it. I want to build it. I need patrons. Please go to my Patreon. Just join up and we can start making this happen. Like, oh my god, it's sexy. This needs to be a thing. It just has to be a thing. Okay, that'll do it for today. Tomorrow we're going to finish up this tail to the point where we can start doing rendering, because I really need to get these renders done for the competition. And yeah, that'll be tomorrow's job. So, as always, I've been Chaos. Expect the unexpected. Until next time, I shall see you guys later.